This is a ticket to the party.
Evening, boys. First service. You gotta love Mohammed.
Oh! That is a moment of absolute magic from Federer.
It's Murray magic, though.
Djokovic, what are you doing? It's phenomenal!
He's got quite a large gluteus maximus.
I've never seen anything like it.
Hello and welcome back to the Loosely Strung Tennis Podcast. My name is Callum Roberts and I've got the usual team with me today. Pricey, how are you doing? How are you feeling being here again?
I'm loving being back. I think I'm going to have a tough show ahead with a few of my comments from last week. But no, I'm here and I'm ready to fight.
Superb. Gary, it's good to have you again. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Busy day at work, but living the dream.
Oh, there we go. And Skinny, you're here. You've had a good week, I think. So how are you feeling?
I'm on top of the world, baby, and I'm ready to talk about my boy later on, so thank you very much.
And we've got the one and only Ross P. We managed to get him out of bed for this one, so how are you feeling today, sir?
Yeah, I'm on top of the world as well. You know, not to nick that from you, Skinny, but I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. And this is the most thing I've done all day, so it's brilliant.
This side of the table's feeling very good today, that's what we're saying.
Super.
The Rosses are on form.
So before we get started, I think every one of us would like to say a massive thank you to everyone who tuned into the podcast last week. The numbers were fantastic, and I speak for everyone when I say it absolutely surpassed all of our expectations. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, very much. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm just going to plug us a little bit more here. Our social medias, they're all the same: Twitter, Instagram and TikTok at Loosely Strung TP. Get following, get commenting, enjoy it. So let's have a look at the previous week of tennis. There was 2 tournaments in the ATP Tour, Vienna and Basel, and it was a free week for the women. They had a week off. Well deserved, I would say. So in Vienna, we had Medvedev against Shapovalov in the final. Medvedev coming up out on top, 2-1. And in Basel, we had Ross Skinner's main man, Felix Auger-Aliassime, a 2-love set victory over the Bond villain, Holger Rune. Okay, so let's just start with Vienna. I watched the final. Gary, you watched the final as well. Everyone else saw a few clips. I found it a really, really frustrating watch. And I think you're on the same path as me, aren't you? You understand what I'm feeling here.
Yeah, Medvedev is a brick wall, and the way Shapovalov plays, you're never going to win that match. He's got all the talent in the world, hits the ball so well, but he just can't do it consistently and for a rally more than 5 shots.
It's mental for me. I just don't understand how no one's got to him saying you don't have to hit a line off every single ball. Like, play a few percentage balls. It's like every time Medvedev gets the ball back, you think, how can I hit a winner from everywhere? It's just so frustrating to watch, and it doesn't look like he's ever going to just grab a match and win it.
Do you not think, like, his style, I would call it, is like at the roulette table in Vegas. It's just high risk, high reward all the time. It's no, as you said, no consistency. But do you not think, see that one tournament, and it will be a tournament eventually where it just goes right for him for one tournament. It'll just absolutely spank everybody.
It'll win for the ages.
Yeah.
But I disagree. I don't think he can have that tournament.
Do you know?
I don't think Shapovalov has it, and I know he's young, but I don't think he has it in him to do that. I think he would definitely come up against someone every single tournament that just has that little edge over him.
I think even if he had that match against Medvedev where he had hit every line and had hit the ball maybe a little bit better, Medvedev probably still would have beat him.
And I've looked at him, thinking about it out loud, he hits far too many double faults. I know go for your second serve sometimes, but sometimes just put that kicker in, get back in play, get in, save the game.
Make it harder to return instead of aiming for cheap points. No, I agree. I totally agree with that.
Well, I've got a breakdown of it here. So the first 2 sets, one set off, 6-4 Shapovalov, 6-3 Medvedev, quite tight. Okay, and they were pretty similar for unforced errors. A few more for Shapovalov, obviously. Winners more for Shapovalov, but still quite a few for Medvedev. but as soon as it gets to the third set, this is my issue. I don't think he has it in him to continuously, consistently produce the smashing the lines. He hits 12 errors to Medvedev's 4 in the final set. Only 6 winners. Medvedev hits 8. So Medvedev is as if he's like took all this pressure in and just been that wall and gone, we'll do it again. So 2.5 hours down the line, and he doesn't have that ability to just continuously do it.
Yeah, I completely agree. Shapovalov just doesn't have that ability to dig in the way Medvedev does, and other top players. He's just so aggressive. I don't really actually think there's much tactics to his game. It's just hit as hard as you can and try and hit as many winners as possible.
Then this is what I was thinking. Does Dennis the Menace actually have a strength? A strength on court? He's good at everything, but has he got that one shot that's going to make him fantastic?
Well, he's a good rapper. I don't know if you've heard some of his music. He's got
that drip.
Is he actually a rapper?
Yeah.
No, I heard.
Yeah.
I think
No
I'm going to
way.
put this to the tennis podcast, to the Loosely Strung podcast just now. And I know we've not talked to this before, but I think if Shapovalov wins something worth talking about, we should all do a rendition of his Spotify released rap.
I'm so on board with that because there's no chance he wins that.
No, and we need to get Ross P doing the Muté bit in French.
Yeah.
I can do a little bit of French. Un petit.
Bonjour.
Treating us here.
madame.
Oh, my lady now, cheers.
Oh, that's a good start.
Why do you think I learned it?
So, moving on from Shapovalov, Medvedev is back. Alright, he's back. That is fantastic week for him. Back in form. He was as much of a wall as he's ever been. Alright. Is next year a year where he wins one of the majors again? Can he win in Australia?
I don't think he can win Australia. Just on his track record, he's a seasonal guy, apparently. So we've been looking at his stats and his wins. So he's a guy from August and November. He's unreal. He's an animal in the autumn. He's an autumnal animal. So he's won Tokyo, Cincinnati, Shanghai, Paris, Tours finals. He's won the US Open, all between August and November. January to July. He doesn't really do anything much that's... I mean, you got the Aussie Open final, but, just on his...
Crumbled.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Thanks for backing me up, Pricey. But I think, I don't think so. Not early 2023 anyway.
Do you think that's something that a pre-season that he could fix and do something different in that pre-season, or do you think it's just over time within the season he just gets better and better and better and gets into everything?
I think that August to November, the court and the way everything is really suits him. I don't think he suits playing in difficult conditions. I think when it's kind of calm and stuff, it really suits him. So I just don't think he's never winning the French. He's never done anything on clay. He hates clay. Yeah. He tells you every single time he hates everything to do with it. It's a shit surface. Like it's crap, right? There's no chance he wins on there. But will he win the US Open next year? He's in with a shout. Everything else, no.
Yeah, I'd say US Open's probably his best shout, but the guy just loves slow, hard courts because he just gets everything back.
And he sells a bomb.
His serve is huge.
Other than he's obviously spoken hatred for clay, why is he not good on clay? Because we've just talked about, he likes a slow ball, he likes to get them. Why is he not good on clay? What do we think?
High bounce.
Yeah, it bounces too high for him.
True, yeah.
It definitely bounces too high and he struggles with it.
Footwork as well.
Because look how far back he stands on the hard court.
I think what he struggles with is he counter punches on the hard court, and I don't think he can counter punch on the clay. It's
clay,
just too slow for him.
Clay, you've just got to be a pure ball striker.
Are we all on the agreement that clay is the best surface? We've got to be all on that agreement. You see the best tennis.
It's the most boring.
No,
it's not the most. No. You see the best rallies you see in anything, in any tennis. Sorry, on clay. Roland Garros is by far the best slam.
Usually
the dirty slam.
Whoa. So it's not the best slam, Pricey. Come on.
Totally disagree.
The best slam is Wimbledon.
Yeah, thank you.
That's a British bias.
No.
That's a knowledgeable thing to say.
There's levels to this tennis game, and that's why I'm just so much further ahead.
The best finals of all time have been at what slam?
Wimbledon.
Thank you very much.
Classic, tradition, history. It's steeped in it, Pricey. French, nah. Away you go.
I'm a man of the moment. There's no moment like the present. That's the motto I live by, and I'm telling you right now, the best. You want to watch the best rallies? That's on clay.
Okay. Thanks, Pricey. But we're going to move on a little bit. We are still on Vienna just now. But I noticed in the draw a little resurrection of Grigor Dimitrov. Okay?
Alright.
He made the semi-final. He is, I would call him the nearly man of tennis in the last 10 years. And he reminded me, he's like the handsome guy in a rom-com, right? Do you know how there's a handsome guy in a rom-com who, like, you always think he's going to get that girl. He's easy, he's got her. And it's always the other guy, like the nerdy guy or the odd guy that gets the girl in the end. And he's not as good looking as the girl, like Dimitrov is, but he's got something more, and that's what I feel like he is in tennis. So, before the podcast, I put the question to the boys. Your rom-com, who's starring in it? Ross Skinner, let's go.
My rom-com, perfect for this, is Crazy Stupid Love. Because Ryan Gosling is such a beautiful man. It fits in perfect. Who gets a girl every time? It would be Roger Federer. Suave, sophisticated, got all the shots, good looking man. It's perfect. But in that film, I'm not going to do any spoilers by the way, Steve Carell's in it as well. Who would be the Steve Carell character? Hurkacz. Definitely. You all know it. You don't need to say anything more. You just know Hurkacz is the man. But you got to remember, he gets the girl. So
Yeah, I've got one in my mind as well. 50 First Dates, a classic.
Brilliant film.
Yeah,
Sandler, isn't it?
yeah. Adam Sandler. Persistent, keeps going. David Ferrer.
What?
I like that.
Alright.
I have not heard David Ferrer's name for a wee while.
A name spoken in hushed tones.
Oh, what? He was a handsome man too.
You know who's another handsome man? Back in the day and now, he qualifies for everything. Honestly, Bjorn Borg.
Oh, so
He would slip right into Mamma Mia.
what a shit!
Like he's one of the dads, and you think Stellan Skarsgård, and then oof,
Wow.
the likeness
There's a
is
market
kinda
there.
There's a
Oh.
market there,
Must be.
That's a shout and a half.
Comes in
like.
when his boxers as well.
Yeah.
Get that branding in.
Wee bit of plugging.
So my final one, 40-year-old virgin. Easy. It was such an easy pick for me. I'm sorry, Mr. Anderson, but Kevin Anderson. Kevin Anderson is the 40-year-old virgin. Unlucky. But yeah, he is the lead role of that film. Okay, so now we're going to move on to Basel. Okay, Basel, and we saw Felix Auger
Sorry, one more time, Castle.
Callum's taking over Ross Skinner.
He was flying again. Flying. 34 winners in the final, 9 unforced errors, faced 3 break points, defended them all, 85 service games in a row, 3 tournaments in a row. The future of tennis. Mr. Price?
Yeah, do you know what? I don't really have much to say. Was that on? Did that tournament even go ahead? I wasn't paying attention.
It was the third tournament in a row went ahead for him actually.
Was it? Oh, no, those are some pretty crazy stats. If I'm honest, I might have to sit here and I'm not really hungry, but there might be a wee bit of humble pie to be eaten tonight. But I'm sure Mr. Skinner can fill me in.
See, last week we had Felix's Corner, and it's a nice free campsite. It's no longer Felix's Corner, Mr. Roberts. No. It's Felix's Fortress. It's a massive beast in the corner. And do you know what, Ross Patrick? Do you want a sweet in Felix's Fortress?
Absolutely.
Gary, do you want a sweet in Felix's Fortress?
Yes, please.
Carl, do you want a sweet in Felix's Fortress?
I'd like to reserve one. I'm not fully in it yet. Every year, someone goes on this run, right? Every single year, at the end of the year, someone goes on this run. And I'll give you a prime example. Paula Badosa and the WTA Tour won everything. She was flying. Annette Kontaveit, flying. Gets to January, none of them even qualify for the WTA finals. It's every year, it's the worst time to hit a run because you're stopping. Alright? And I'm not saying I don't want Felix to do well, I just don't know if it carries on.
But on the ATP Tour, it's only happened twice before that someone's won 3 titles in a row. The 2 guys, Casper Ruud, I think it's last year.
The smooth little dude.
My smoothest little dude. Yeah. Didn't get much luck last week. Story of my life. But you've got also. You've also got Andy Murray, 2011, won 3 in a row. So that's 2 guys beforehand who's won 3 in a row. Rude obviously has a massive year this year. Murray, legend. Felix is the 3rd guy on that. So what's going to happen next year for him could be amazing.
Do you know what? See that selling that stock? I am buying all the Felix stock. I'm going to buy the merch, I'm going to buy the t-shirt, I'm going to buy a chain, a bucket hat, the full works. I'm going to be Felix, I'm your biggest fan. Sign me up for it all.
I think I'll hold off. It sounds like it does sound as if your Fortress really is taking place here, and there's not really much I can say to go against it, but I will stand by. The guy's not got a slam in him.
The one thing I will say, it's a big week for him this week.
Do you know what? It is a big week. Obviously, we're coming into Paris. It's a whole different kettle of fish.
Exactly.
This is where the big boys play. This is where, if I was a tennis player, this is where I would show my pride. Big dogs play on the big courts, and that's me.
Got that dog in him.
Got that dog in him.
I hope he does have a dog in him, I tell you. I hope he does.
So, obviously, Ross Patrick, you brought up Andy Murray. Yeah. And I watched Andy Murray's match against Roberto Batista Agut. It was awful. It was terrible. It was the slowest game I've ever seen. The errors, the forehand, Jesus, like, how hard is it to watch Andy Murray just now?
It can be tough, but I just love the guy, so I don't want to be too down on him. But there's a couple like that's a. Was it 3-2 or yeah? That's tough. That's tough to watch.
Do you know it was just? Do you know one of them games you watch and you know you have no chance here? Like everything he did, I was like, what are you doing? 27% of second serve points won. You cannot win a match with that. Andy, just throw your racket at it. Yeah. Like that's slower than he must hit a second serve slower than mine.
That's debatable.
Don't lie to people that know you, Cal.
I just hope. Do you know what it is with him? Every time I'm watching him play tennis now, and I'm privileged to see him playing live this year. I'm just thankful that anytime I get to see him play, I'm just really glad that I can still see him play. We've only got maybe a couple of years, a year left of it. Just drink it in, baby. Drink it in.
But is it good to watch a guy fall so far? Is that good? Like I'm watching him and I go, oh, every time I'm like, jeez, like it's so hard to watch. The forehand, the errors, 29 errors in 2 sets.
That's a lot.
That's so many. For me, he's just
don't say it.
Done.
No,
sorry.
What I'm going to say is, he's still top 50 in the world. He's clawed his way back.
Through wild
to
cards.
top, but he's still clawed his way back. He's still a world class tennis player. He might not be the guy that he was when he had an actual hip and not a metal hip. But he's still very, very good. He just needs a run.
I'm telling you, there's going to be one tournament next year. Murray is going to be a baller, and all of us as Scots are just going to be like, my guy.
Yeah,
and we're just going to be so proud of him because we've been so proud of him for years. But he's still got that one tournament left in him that we're going to be like, our guy.
Yeah, it's not all bad for Andy Murray though.
Oh yeah, really? there was a highlight of that.
No, it's not all bad.
Yeah.
It's not all bad. Andy Murray shows up on court with a skin fade.
Wow.
A skin fade. Andy Murray, 36 years old, has had some of the worst haircuts I've ever seen in my life. The afro, terrible. The literally going bald at one point, terrible.
Cutting his hair off on court.
Yeah, awful. And now he's got a skin fade. So good, right? So good. But it's all about the worst haircuts we can see.
But just, we stay on Andy Murray for a minute. Do you think that's one of those things that we all say, like in our sort of lower leagues, we go, something's got to change. Something's got to change. It's the shoes, it's the racket. He's going, I've done everything. I've got a new hip, I've had new shoes, I've got everything. It's got to be the hair. The hair's changing. Is that what he says? And he's taking a new lease of life?
It's a bold move for the man in his mid-30s.
Did he work?
Skin fade.
But didn't work. No, he's going to grow it back out.
Maybe he's fully gone next week.
Yeah. But I'm going to go in there with one of the worst haircuts on tour. It's got to be Rublev, man.
Oh, that's
I mean, is that a haircut? Because it clearly hasn't been cut. So I don't know if I'm allowed that with
There's only one guy I know that's not had his haircut longer than Rublev, and he's sitting diagonally across from me right now. Ross P. 29th of July. Come on, son, that's terrible.
I didn't even know it was 29th of July. How are you knowing that it was the exact date I got my haircut?
You got it before we had a tournament final.
Just for reference, it's the 31st of October.
Yeah. But when I get mine cut, it's decent, so big up Diane for that.
You won the same amount of matches as Andy Murray, didn't you?
I just don't do it often enough, but yeah, you know what, 2 or 3 times a year is okay for me.
I'm going to be controversial here. I've got 3 guys who have shocking hair, or 2 that have terrible, and 1 that he needs to deal with. The 2 terrible ones, JJ Wolf.
Correct.
Yeah, mullet, not a good look. The American
Coming
college,
back.
the American
Coming
college
back.
kids love it, and the Aussies love it.
Great name though.
The rest of the world, nah. And Alexander Bowl-Blick looks as if his mum still puts a bowl round his head and gets the scissors out.
Oh, bad.
And
The
cuts
Bowl-Blick.
it. And I'm going to
terrible.
upset one person right now in this podcast, and it's Callum Price, because I'm going to have a wee dig at Rafa Nadal here. He needs to get to Turkey and get a wee hair transplant, because he's very, very thin on top and still try to rock that headband look that he's had for so many years.
Look, no, I get it, but it's hard to take 22 slams through security. 22 trophies, it's a lot of baggage he's carrying, so I'm not having any slander about Rafa here. You can forget it. Let's move on.
So he's not going to Turkey then.
He's not going to Turkey enough.
He's staying in the airport.
Would you go to Turkey if you were going bald?
That's never going to happen to me.
There's
so
only
I'm
one
good.
person here that might need to go to Turkey, and he's a Rafa Nadal supporter.
Yeah, I have absolutely no problems admitting to the gentleman in the room and anyone who is listening that my first proper pay packet will be for a flight to Turkey and see a professional.
I've got 3 crowns, you can line one of mine.
I had one more to add in. I don't know if you had an extra to add in as well, Ross. I'll let you go first.
Yeah, because as a bit of an older gentleman, I kind of like to look back to a time where I've loved some tennis players, and my favourite may have been of all time is Andy Roddick. But one time he turned up with a mohawk, and not just a mohawk, like a UFC fighter mohawk, and I'm like, I love you, man, I really do, but you cannot pull that off. You're about as hard as a kitten, so please, Andy, never rock something like that again.
For me, Milos Raonic. Possibly. See how you get the lockdown haircuts and you go, why on earth have you done that? And I'm really sorry, I've just spotted a massive spike.
I've just seen that as well.
Well, that's not that bad. It's just above a picture of Madonna, so it's having it's having a great time.
Raonic.
Milos Raonic, one of the lockdown haircuts where you go, why have you done that? It is, just cut it. Get your girlfriend or your mum or whoever you're living with. I don't know, he's mid-30s, I hope you're not living with your mum, Milos. But get that cut, it's so bad. And see, since he's had that haircut,
He's disappeared.
he's disappeared.
Yeah.
It must be too heavy for him to get out of... must be too heavy for him to get out of bed to actually move to get it cut. It's terrible, it's terrible.
Somewhere in the world, Milos Raonic is just consuming a bag of wings after coming out of bed.
Moving on, the ATP Cup is no longer there.
Oh no, what am I not going to watch now?
What a shame.
January is ruined for everyone because that's all we looked forward to, isn't it? A repeat of the Davis Cup a month and a half later.
Yay!
And for us, through the middle of the night.
Exactly. But it's been replaced by, hands down, the greatest name they could have possibly come up with. The United Cup.
Well, that must have taken them a whole 3 seconds to come up with.
So
Spending millions of pounds, brain trust trying to get something really good going, and they get United Cup.
So the ATP Tour and the WTA Tour, they will be combining. So the countries will be together. It'll be one men's match, one women's match, and a mixed doubles. I think fantastic idea. Well done to both tours for, after 122 years, coming together and deciding to actually do something. I know they did the Hopman Cup before, but no one even watched it. I was going to say listened, because it maybe that old. No one watched it, alright? It's not interesting. Maybe this will be a little bit better, but they need to promote tennis better. Something has to change. It's boring, it's dull, and if you're not a fan of tennis, you're not becoming a fan of tennis.
No, I totally agree. This is going to be... I'm excited for this. I think it'll be brilliant. And I think it's going to bring a lot of light to maybe some players we've not necessarily watched before. And like Callum said there's not a lot of hype around tennis unless you're involved with tennis. I think a lot of people I know outside of tennis only know the likes of your Roger, Rafa and Andy Murray. So hopefully this will shine a bit of light on a lot of new players for us.
So see, at this tournament, are you wanting like pyrotechnics, you want entrance music? What are you wanting here to make it a bit more lively? Is it... What are you taking from other sports here, boys?
Entrance music, 100%. 100%. It's like WWE, you go down the ramp, it's like Royal Rumble or something.
They don't know who's the next player in.
Yeah.
Someone just runs in.
It's like the USA are playing, I don't know, Germany or something, and it's the mixed doubles and it goes all black and then Serena walks out and everyone's like, oh my god, she was retired.
Yeah, it's like a return, yeah.
That's like the most intense... Could you imagine that? That's like the King of the Court, but like on steroids. The whole crowd going wild. You know
King,
what
the
I mean?
Prince and the Peasant.
But you know what I'm saying though? Like, tennis definitely is lacking compared to other sports, and I know they've done the Netflix deal, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And to speak for myself, I am buzzing to watch it
100%.
just to see what goes on behind the scenes and what everyone's like. But it's just so dull. Tennis is dull sometimes, and you go through periods of the season where I honestly say 90%, or maybe that's too many, say 80% of people that play in local clubs probably don't even watch it on TV. And that is so poor because nothing changes. It's the same week after week after week. It's not even an event. It's just boring. And they need to do more things that change it up and make it exciting. We've been to Davis Cups before together. Unbelievable, right? So good. We even watched the Davis Cup all together this year. And like, weren't even at Glasgow, but we're so tuned in. We'll probably watch the Davis Cup finals. It's something different. Tennis must change. It's just boring.
So what do we suggest? How do you make... Because of course all these shouts of entrance music and WWE themes are great, but you know, we have to keep tennis. So what do we do to make the tour more exciting?
That's a loaded question.
It's hard. Like,
yeah, because I think because they play it every week, that's a challenge. You've got to admit, trying to get hyped up for watching a tournament every week can be classed as difficult. And I think that's why slams do work so well, because it's 2 weeks of absolute intense insanity that everyone gets drilled right into.
Well, they are trying to change it next year. They're putting some of the thousands up to 2 week or 10-day events in this bigger field, so that might try and maybe build up a bit in those cities, but then it's still the same tournament week after week.
Just to play like devil's avocado here, is that not just stretching out? Sorry.
No. What?
Sorry, yes.
Why avocado, man?
Sorry. Play devil's advocate.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
Ross Pat. Does that not just like prolong what we've just talked about? I mean, I'm all for it, and I think
I'm
it's great.
only saying they're trying something, so that it's not as if they're getting their feet in the sand and just staying where they are. They are trying to change it.
I think it's brilliant, but I think one of the big things that we saw was see all the, I don't know what they're called, the boards that go around courts, get them at football games and stuff, and the wee bit of sort of flashy lights and stuff. Advertising boards and stuff like that. A wee bit more of that, I think. A wee bit of crowd participation at the change of ends. We'll never know.
See the crowd participation thing that I absolutely love. See in golf, I can't remember where the tournament is, but it's basically par 3, 17th, everyone drinking beer in the stands, and when a shot goes, it's literally like someone's...
beer.
Yeah, it's like one beer.
The Waste Management, the Phoenix Open, the 16th at Scottsdale.
That's
and
the
the best one ever, Francesco Molinari, hole in one, and I think there must have been about 3,000 pints of beer up in there. Place went mental.
This is
super.
This is it. This is what we need. Like, we need to ban the "I believe" chant.
Correct.
That's ruining tennis. If you're listening and you go to Davis Cup and you sing along to "I Believe," stop listening. Alright? It is the worst song in the world, okay? Aside from that, we need to not be so anti-crowd shouts, right? Not bad shouts, but we need more loud cheering. See the US Open? Absolutely incredible for it. When Sinner played Alcaraz and the crowd were so invested in it, that gets you hyped. That's good, and that attracts other people to watch the sport.
Come on, Tim.
I mean, see night tennis, when it's under the lights, it's past that kind of similar clock, 8 o'clock, and the game's going, it is buzzing, especially with a few beers in you. It is absolutely class, and it's just exactly what you want.
The problem with tennis, like on your point there, Ross, when the Davis Cup was in Glasgow, the matches were starting mid-afternoon, midweek. People work. People can't get there. they need to try and make it more like more accommodating to the regular punter that's going to go and watch that.
Well, ATP, WTA, ITF, and the rest of you, we've given you options. Listen and take them on.
Don't take a fee.
We are going to move on to talk about some predictions, but before we do, we'd just like to apologise for our predictions from last week. They are absolutely terrible. Not one made it past the quarter final. It was an absolute shambles from everyone here. Before the podcast went out, half of the team's predictions were gone. So yeah, we'd like to just apologise, but we're going to move on to our predictions for this week. I'll start with myself, and I have gone for Jessica Pegula to win the WTA finals. Skinny?
I am going fully down. I'm doubling down, tripling down, putting it all in my Vegas table, baby. I am sticking with Felix to win it all, but also please gamble responsibly.
Ross P?
Paris, Djokovic. End of story.
Oh, that's exciting.
Hey,
take
it's
it
a
to my
prediction.
favourite.
I want to get my prediction right this time. I don't want
Gary?
a prediction
So
first
I
round.
was stuck between two. Still am, but Mr. Skinner has taken one of them. I am going to take Daniel Medvedev because I think the winner of that quarter-final in Paris wins the full thing.
And we'll finish with Pricey Prediction King.
I think despite never having made the final before in quite a long career, Rafa's going to have some more problems at security because he's taking that trophy, baby.
Well, there's a surprise. Rafa Nadal every time.
Just before we go, we've got Ross P's Umpire of the Week.
Yes.
I think we need to shine a light on these guys and gals, man. Honestly, it's all players. The umpires don't get that much. They don't get that much, honestly. So my umpire of the week, your first ever loosely strung umpire of the week,
Wow.
Drum roll, please.
Drum roll, please. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Mohamed Liani.
Yeah. Correction.
Yeah, he's in our intro. He's a legend, and the way he was calm and he dealt with Holger Rune when he was giving him some lip, which was like, mate, calm down. He was great. He was brilliant. Mohamed Liani,
Brilliant
legend.
guy.
Superb. So that rounds up our podcast for the week. We thank you to everyone who listens. And just before we go, we'd like to plug a little bit more on social media at Loosely Strung TP. Get following, give us a message, and enjoy the pod.
Boomski! Thanks for coming.